Hey guys, Ruben here, and today we're cooking outside. The weather's great. It's 28 degrees, which is about 68 degrees for our friendly neighbors down south. And we are going to be cooking up some smash burgers. So smash burgers are one of the first things that you'll probably try on your griddle. They're a very simple recipe, and today I'm going to show you how you can make them. So, because this is a fairly quick recipe, let's actually turn our griddle on and allow it to preheat while we prepare our ingredients. I'm turning my griddle on to medium heat. The temperature may vary for medium heat depending on what griddle you're using, but for most, it should be roughly in around the same temperature that you'll need to cook these burgers on. Don't turn them up to high because your burgers may burn really quickly. Okay, so while our griddle heats up, let's go ahead and prepare our ingredients. The first thing that we're going to need to focus on is our patties. So the beef that I'm using for the patties is medium ground beef. So medium ground beef works out to be roughly around an 80 to 20 lean to fat ratio. If you want to check for yourself, you can look at the nutritional label. If you see about a fat content of 20 grams per 100-gram serving, that works out to be an 80 to 20 lean to fat ratio. Now, for the patties themselves, I'm using about a pound of ground beef. For this, I'm making them into roughly around 2 ounce balls because I'm going to be making sliders. And this works out to be about six patties for the cook. In addition to this, I'm going to be toasting up my buns. For the buns, I'm going to be using simple small brioche slider buns. I'm going to cut them in half because these don't come pre-cut. And for the toppings, I'm going to be using lettuce, tomato, onion, some mayonnaise, and one secret ingredient that I'll share with you towards the end of the video. So be sure to watch till the end. Just a reminder to please take a second to like and subscribe if you have not already done so, and you'll be notified whenever I make new videos, and it really helps the channel grow. Okay, so your griddle should be almost up to temperature by now, and we can start smashing your burgers. So take each patty, put them on the griddle, and press it firmly down with your burger press. If you find that your patties are sticking, you can actually place a small piece of parchment paper between your burger and the burger press, and this will allow the burgers to not stick to the burger press and come right off quite easily. So, just a bit of background on this technique. This technique of smashing our burgers was actually developed by line cooks in order to help them keep up with busy periods during diner rushes. They figured that by smashing the patties, it would significantly reduce the cook time and actually make the burgers taste better. Because when you press the burger into the griddle, it maximizes the surface area that comes in contact with the heated surface and actually results in a delicious crust while still being juicy at the same time. So one thing I want to call out is that when we're making a large amount of smash burgers, don't try and cook them all at the same time, but cook them in small batches. There's two reasons for this. The first is that it's easier to manage. You can put the burgers on, smash them, and flip them, and manage it fairly easily when you're working with smaller batches. And the second is that because these burgers are so thin, if you're cooking a large amount and you're spending some time putting each one, smashing them, by the time you get to your last burger, the first burger might have already burnt or gotten overcooked. So work with smaller batches. It'll allow you to control the cooking much easier and you'll get a better result. Okay, so because these burgers are very thin, by the time you put your last burger on, your first one should almost be done. So let's go ahead and start flipping our burgers over to the other side. Once we do this, we can start putting our cheese on our burgers. So here I'm using a slice of cheddar cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. You can use American cheese, you can use cheddar, you can use Havarti, whatever cheese that you like, you can use for this recipe. They'll all be just as good. Okay, so once we put our cheese on our burgers, we can put our slider buns to toast. They shouldn't take any more than 1 to 2 minutes on each side to get a bit of toasted crust. Okay, so now that the buns are toasted on one side, you can flip them over to get a bit of a toast on the other side as well. Use tongs when you're flipping your buns over, just to make sure that you don't burn your fingers, and don't do what I did. Now that the burger buns are done and the burgers are cooked, we can go ahead and remove everything off the griddle. So in total, it shouldn't have taken more than 5 minutes. The burgers should need to cook for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side, and the bun should be toasted for about a minute or so each side. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start assembling our burgers. So when you're layering your burger, and if you want us to look as delicious as they can, you want to make sure that you can see each layer in the burger. So what I typically do is I put the mayo first on the bottom part of the burger. On top of that, I put the onion. On top of that, I put the tomato, and on top of that the lettuce goes, and finally then you put your patty with your melted cheese on top of it, and in this way you can see all of the layers of your burger and your patty is not hidden underneath um, all of the vegetables. So while we assemble our burger, let's talk about what we can put on our burgers. So the first thing let's discuss is sauces. So there are a variety of different sauces that you can put on your burgers. Some of the most popular sauces are barbecue sauce, ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. I'm a huge fan of mayonnaise, and I'll almost always put it on my burger. The other set of toppings that you can put on your burger are also vegetables. Some of the classic vegetable toppings include lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles, and these provide a freshness and a crunch to your burger. They give your burger a bit of a better texture. Um, in addition to this, you can also put other protein toppings such as bacon. There's several types of bacon. There's your standard regular belly cut bacon, as well as some more interesting bacon items such as Canadian bacon or pea meal bacon, which is a leaner bacon option made from the pork tenderloin. There are also some regional variations in terms of toppings. People from California love to put avocado on their burgers, and there's some more interesting other options such as coleslaw. But a burger is a very flexible item that you can put a variety of toppings on depending on what your preference are. So try a bunch of things out, and let me know what you like best. Post in the comments your favorite burger toppings. Okay, so now for our secret ingredient. So the thing that I love to put on my burgers is actually pickled jalapenos. So pickled jalapenos actually uh, work great for burgers for a variety of different reasons, other than it just being spicy. So these pickled jalapenos, they're acidic. They're tangy, and this tanginess really helps cut through the richness and the heaviness of the burger's fatty component, especially if you're using cheese. So if you're using the fatty patty and the cheese, it's quite rich. So these jalapenos really help cut through the fat. They also provide you with a contrasting flavor. So now because these jalapenos have a little bit of a spice to them, they'll really give you a contrast in flavor to that of the burger and the cheese. And if you pickle these jalapenos yourself and they have a bit of bite to them, it can also give a textural contrast and a bit more crunch to it, similar to what some of the other vegetables do. And so overall, these pickled jalapenos, they serve as a flavorful and tangy, crunchy option that really helps out balance the richness of our burger by providing acidity, contrasting flavor, and subtextural diversity. Okay, and here we have it, smash burger sliders. So this is one of my first griddle videos. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more delicious griddle recipes. Have a good one.